Hello, everyone. I hope you had a enjoyable and happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone will have a pleasant Shabbos wherever you are, whether you're here in Brookline or traveling with family or with friends. I hope it will be a wonderful Shabbos. This week's Erev Shabbos Video Dvar Torah is sponsored anonymously, and I personally want to thank that sponsor for her sponsorship, and it is very much appreciated. As always, our video Erev Shabbos videos of our Torahs, all the learning associated with it should be a merit for the hostages that remain in Gaza. Today is day 420. For the soldiers who are fighting for all of Israel, there should be peace and security throughout the land. This week's Parsha, Parshas Toldos, is the story of Yaakov and Eisav. They are born, they are twins, and at first, as the Medrash says, they seemed very similar. You couldn't really tell them apart. But eventually, their paths diverge. And one of the critical moments in which their paths diverge to have separate, different, almost opposite destinies is the moment when Eisav comes back from the field and he is tired and hungry, and he ultimately sells the Bechorah, the right to be the firstborn, for a bowl of lentil soup. As the Torah describes, Vayazid Yaakov Nazir, Yaakov was making a lentil stew. Vayavo Esav ben Asadev Ayef, and Yaakov was coming back from the field of hunting, and he was exhausted. And Esav says to Yaakov, Haliteninan min hadoma domazed, give me some of that red stuff. Ki ayef anochi, for I am exhausted. And Yaakov says, Mechrach hayom es bechorasachali, sell me the right to be the firstborn for it. Eisav says, Hine anochi holechamus, listen, I'm going to die anyways. Balama zeli bechora, so what do I care about being the firstborn? Give it to me. He swears, he sells it, and he takes the soup. What did Eisav mean when he said, Hine anochi holechamus, listen, I'm going to die anyways? The Sforno says it means that in the moment he was so exhausted, so hungry, so ravenous, he felt like he was going to die. He said, I need the food, otherwise I'm going to die. Now, it's hard to believe that he really was going to die of hunger in that moment if he didn't get that lentil soup. But apparently, Eisav felt that way. He was so overcome with his need to eat something, he was willing to give up the eternal right to be the firstborn of the Jewish people and the descendants of Abraham and Yitzchak. The Ramban and many others say it means that he says, Eisav was saying, listen, I'm probably going to die before you. I'm probably going to die before my father Yitzchak. Why? Because I'm a hunter. I go out and I chase and try to catch dangerous animals. I'm not going to live to enjoy the Bechorah, to be the firstborn, to inherit two portions after our father dies. So listen, I don't need it. You can have it. And finally, the Medrash says that in this statement, Eisav was denying his belief in Techias HaMesim. He was saying, listen, I'm going to die. I don't believe there's anything after this life. I don't believe there's an eternal future. So I don't care about this. You can have it. So we have these different interpretations. Either Asa was overcome with his desire for food in the moment, or he believed he was going to die before his father or brother, or he was denying his belief, his Emuna, in Tchias HaMesim. What is the common denominator? The common denominator of all these interpretations is that no matter what this pasuk is saying is that Esav gave up on the future for the present, whether it's the present of the actual moment that he needed to eat something in that moment right then and there, and he was willing to give up the future for that, or it's because he didn't believe in the Chiyas HaMesim, so he didn't believe in some great eternal future. But either way, he was giving up the future because of the present. The concept of Emuna, of believing, of having faith, means that you believe in something that is not here in the moment, that is not visible, and is also about believing in a future that is yet to be. We believe in Hashem and His divine providence, even though we cannot see it. And we believe in His future promises that Mashiach will come in Tchias HaMesim, the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash, redemption and perfection of the world, even though it has not yet come to be. And someone who is a Baal Emuna, someone who lives with a sense of faith, that trains the person, that besides for the things that he or she believes in, it trains us to not just live in the here and now, to not just only think is real the things that we can touch and taste, but we live with the unseen. We live with the future, and that allows us to escape from the drives or urges or desires of the present. It allows us to see that there is more than just what can be seen with our physical eyes. Asa lived only in the here and now. He did not believe in a future. He did not have a sense of Emuna, and therefore he was willing to give up the most incredible future for the present. And ultimately, this is seen as one of the defining characteristics that separates Eisav from Yaakov and his descendants, us, the Jewish people. Do you only live in the here and now? Do you only live by what you feel in your stomach and what you can see with your eyes or touch with your hands? Or no? Do you have Emuna? Do you believe in the things that you cannot see or touch? And do you believe in the things and have faith in those things that have not yet come to be? The fact that we are ma'aminim, that we are believers, that affects our entire personality, affects how we live every aspect of our lives beyond the specific things that we believe in, because it allows us to live not just in the here and now, but it allows us to see and believe and live with the future, and that affects us and changes us into different people, and ultimately that is what distinguished Yaakov and Esav, and we are the spiritual descendants of Yaakov Ma'aminim, B'nai Ma'aminim, believers, the descendants of believers. And that is one important lesson that we learned at the very, very beginning of the Parsha this week. Everyone should have a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, wherever you are. Have a wonderful Shabbos.